How to deal with difficult sellers. Guys, it's Rick Ginn. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 phases to dealing with difficult sellers, what not to do, how to lead them through it, and ultimately how to get a positive outcome out of it. But before I do that, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. So we're talking about difficult sellers, and we have to define what is a difficult seller, because I find a lot of people just label everybody difficult, and that's not always the case. There's difficult, there's confused, there's agitated, there's so many different descriptions. So let me give you my definition of difficult. Let's start with the classic definition on the internet of difficult. It says basically needing much effort. In other words, you're gonna have to spend more time and you're gonna have to do things you don't traditionally have to do. And that's what a difficult seller does. More importantly, you have to ask yourself, why are they a difficult seller? You see, the why is the real problem in a difficult seller. Anybody can be a difficult seller, but you, the wholesaler, has to figure out why are they being difficult. Because if you can't get to the root of the problem, you have zero shot at getting a wholesale deal. What I'm specifically referring to it is, do they actually want to sell a piece of property, or are they just being a tire kicker? And this goes down to your classic argument is, do they want to sell, which is everybody in real estate, or do they need to sell? Is there a specific consequence if they don't sell that property in a set amount of time? I only focus on people who need to sell, because people who want to sell, they're all difficult. And that's what you got to understand here. But let's specifically, so we can get clarity today, let's focus on sellers that need to sell that are being difficult. Because a lot of people are just going to tie everybody being difficult. That's people who want to sell the house and you try to shove wholesaling down their mouth. So if they need to sell, they have a precursor like a pre-foreclosure, a probate, a tax delinquency, and they're being difficult, let's address that. Now, how are they being difficult? It's very simple. You try to go through a process. You try to guide them. You're not here to sell them, and they're yanking you all over the board. Give me your offer. Just give me your offer. I don't have time for this. Why are you talking so much? These are indications of a difficult seller. They will not let you get a word in edgewise, and they just keep attacking you. And you have to recognize it. But the first rule that we have to understand, the first section of this is, what do we not do? And let me just tell you is, if you try to take a difficult person and you try to give the same energy back, which traditional sales is going to tell you to do it, you're going to get killed. Now, a difficult seller is protecting themselves. They feel threatened by you. They're basically telling you, I don't trust you and I have no connection with you. And those are the 2 core principles we're going to have to address with any motivated seller. Now, I get it, Rick, how do you want me to build rapport and connect with them if this guy won't give me the time of day? Number 1, do not feed that negative energy back, because it's going to blow up on you. Do not aggressively respond, which is how most people do. There's a difference. That seller is reacting to all the previous things that's happened in their life. Maybe they're just having a bad day. You're going to have to give them some grace. That seller is reacting to you. You, in turn, have to learn how to respond to them. And here's the difference between a reaction and a response. A reaction is instant gratification, an unconscious trigger of past events in their life, and most people regret it. A response is an educated answer with delay, and you use your conscious mind, and you rarely regret that. Do you see the difference between the two? A difficult seller is just reacting. Don't react. Make sure you learn how to respond. If you want to learn more how to do that, go over to freewholesaling.com. But that's rule number 1. Don't meet negative energy with negative energy. It doesn't cancel it out. It makes it worse. 2 negatives actually compounds it. Take that reaction and answer them with a response. The next thing I don't want you to do with a difficult seller is comply. That's right. When they go, just give me your offer. I don't have time for this. Just give me your price. Give me your price or I'm not going to do business with you. I don't have time to hear all the other stuff. This is what difficult people do. Now, you're going to get them inevitably. You have a decision to make. You can either become an order taker and you're basically no better than the kiosk at a McDonald's restaurant, I use the word restaurant loosely. You see, because, okay, I'll take the number one. If he goes, give me your price, okay, 65,000. Like, you're done if you do that. So you have to avoid the temptation of complying with a difficult person. But Rick, I thought I'm not supposed to respond with negativity. I don't want you to. But if you comply, they're going to take your information and they're going to go elsewhere. And you'll never know if you truly had a shot at getting a good wholesale deal. So don't be an order taker. What you need to do is turn that around. And I want to show you in these next few steps how you can take any difficult seller and see if you have a shot at buying their piece of property. You see, if you constantly react back with them with negative energy, or you just give them a price to get them out of your hair, it's 100% failure rate. I've tried it. I've made every mistake in the book. Don't do it. I know you're going to want to take the easy route. Think about it. If you truly want a shot at buying their property, you're going to have to do the hard thing up front. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it. So that leads us to step number 2. Once we learn we don't react and we don't respond with negative energy and we don't take orders from people, is we have to learn to lead people. Let me repeat that. You're going to have to learn how to lead people. And there's a nice way to do it and there's a bully tactic way to do it. Obviously, the bully tactic way is not going to work. You have to lead. So number 1, you lead with your attitude and your response first. People have a hard time getting mad at people when you're trying to help them out. Remember, your job is to be the leader. They are in a stressful situation, and the stressful situation is probably making them a difficult seller. So you can either fight them or you can lead them to the path where they can actually solve the problem. Remember, your job is to guide your sellers. And when you guide them, the idea is you keep walking them down the path to help them solve their own problem. They just need a guide. They have all the information. We just got to walk them through the decision process. And you have to start by leading. And you lead by example. You don't run people over and you don't comply with everything they say. So if somebody comes out to you and goes, Rick, give me that price right now. Don't give it to them. Okay, well, how do I deal with them? You actually have to ask for permission. So how do we ask for permission from a difficult seller? It's simple. Mr. Seller, I want to give you the best solution possible to your property, but I got to ask you a few questions. Otherwise, I have to give you like a really low offer. Do you mind if I ask you a few pertinent questions about your property, the specifics, so I can get you the best offer possible? Now, sometimes they don't always adhere to that. Or you could go simply listen, let me ask you this. Have you ever bought a car? Yes. Have you ever bought a car without taking a test drive on it? Well, no, I would never do that. So do you mind, can I get permission from you just to ask you some pertinent details about your property so I can give you the best solution possible? Is that fair? What you are is basically asking for permission nicely. You're responding to them and saying, listen, if you don't let me go through this process, I can't even give you an offer. And sometimes not everyone's going to comply. And you got to question, are they really motivated in selling the property? They're probably somebody who wants to sell the property and they're wasting your time. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. So if they won't give me the permission or the grace to do that, I will probably have to move on, or maybe they're just having a bad day and maybe you just need to reschedule either your phone appointment or your appointment in person. If you can't lead the conversation, you have zero shot at getting a wholesale deal. I have never gotten a deal by spit out your price now. I don't know, 280,000. Okay, I'll take it. It never ever works that way. So when someone's being aggressive and going, hey, maybe they got a New York style, that's how they're raised. All you have to do is redirect them and ask their permission. Once you do that, they will actually give you a chance to connect with them. But they're telling you up front, I don't trust people. I definitely don't trust you. You're stranger danger. And I'm not going to let you get inside my head. And if you do that, you're going to have to go around them, which means the only thing they care about is price. And you know what I say in wholesaling? If it's only about price, it ain't a wholesale deal. So ask permission, ask for them to yield, or use the, have you ever bought a car analogy? Have you ever test drive? I just got to ask you a few questions. That way I can give you the best offer. Is that fair? Bingo. Now, it might be a smaller window, but at least you have a shot. What's your choice to do that exchange? And some of you guys just spit out the number, and I'm just telling you, it never, ever works out that way. So now we move into step 3, which is basically what we call the redirect phase of a difficult seller. Once I've asked for permission to basically ask them questions, to open up the conversation, I need them to get behind the story of what's going on with the property. Now, I know they're difficult, they're agitated. Are they having a bad day? Are they having a bad month? Or they like this forever? I meet some sellers, they're just negative about everything, and I still am able to get deals out of them. Not all of them. So I'm trying to identify what's going on. And that's where you want to open up when you go walk through your qualification process and start asking them questions. Now, once you get in, hopefully they'll start to open up with you. And then remember, your job is to get behind the symptom. The symptom is the house is in foreclosure, the house is vacant, whatever it is. What's the story behind it? And if they will open up, you have a shot. But difficult people hold tight. You're going to have to use humor. You're going to have to use laughter. You're going to have to embarrass yourself a little bit, make an example of yourself. If you can get a smile or a chuckle out of them, it changes the entire projection. But sometimes that doesn't even work. I've been doing this 23 years. I've dealt with a lot of difficult sellers, and I still deal with them to this date. In fact, it is my challenge to deal with the most difficult sellers. And you won't win on all of them, but you might as well take a shot, because what do you have to lose? If you've gone this far and you understand marketing is your number one skill set and you got in front of you, they just don't trust you. And they don't want to connect with you. And if you can win that customer over, it's like the best feeling in the world. So here's what I want you to understand. Maybe you're going through the qualification process and there's still that standoffish. Like they're listening to you, but they're not quite connecting. It's not an ideal situation. And basically what you need to do is when you get through your presentation, you go everything and you start talking about the specific property, the specifics on the offers, and they just kind of go, yeah, I can't move forward with you. And it's at this point where you can call it the Hail Mary, but you need to address the seller's specific concerns. There's something bothering them. Now, at this point, if you haven't even given the offer, which is usually what it's like, and they still seem agitated, they still seem difficult, go, Mr. Seller, what specifically are you concerned with me? Because I just sense that you're not comfortable, and that's not my objective here. I want to help you out. I understand this is a tense situation, and I don't know if you're just having an off day or if I'm just ticking you off. Maybe you just think I'm so ugly, you don't have this conversation with them. What? That's what I call the Hail Mary. I'm trying to pull out what their real objection is, because I know they're hiding behind this fortress. And you got to understand, there's some people that just, maybe they had rough parents. Maybe they've had an extremely difficult childhood. Maybe they've had an extreme difficult adulthood. I deal with a lot of senior citizens that are just specifically men that are just they really get ticked off. And they've been that way probably their entire life. And my job, if I can crack them, I love it. So when I throw them that Hail Mary, they're always caught off guard. Like, what did you just say to me? And either they laugh or they just move on. And the reason is I might as well find out if I can get a chuckle, if I can get a smile, or I get the person to open up. Because I know my job as a guide, especially with a difficult seller, is to help them stay on that path. You're in pre-foreclosure. Your house is vacant and you're not making payments on it. I want to help you make this a winnable solution. But if you do nothing, they're going to foreclose on you. You're going to lose the house. You're not going to have an option. And that's where you're going to be stuck. The whole point of this conversation with a difficult seller is to get them to open up, to hear you out. And your job is to get them to reveal what their real objection is. Sometimes you won't get it, but if you don't do this phase, you're going to be stuck. Now, if you can get that objection from them, listen, Rick, I just don't think you can solve my problem. I need it sold quickly and I need X amount of dollars. Now I go into phase what I call a trial close. Now, I hate the word close on it, but think of it as a circular loop. They are now open up. You have one objection and you go back. Okay, listen, if I can close it in the next 3 weeks and I can end your foreclosure, there's no credit on you. You don't have to worry about it. And then you can get all your stuff out of the house. Is that something we can move forward with? What about the price, Rick? I have to have that number. Once again, I'm going to do what I call a trial close, which I got to go back and I got to solve the objection. If you solve each objection one-on-one, it's a lot easier because then you don't have to reclose it. Okay, he's great with when you're going to close it. He's great with you solving the foreclosure. He just doesn't like the price. Now, John, I would love to give you the $185,000, but your house is going to be foreclosed on in the next 2 months. And because the roof has a leak in it, you haven't updated the roof, and the property is outdated, I can't give you more than that $150,000. Unless you can go address all those items. Is that a possibility? I shut my mouth. And what I'll keep doing is going in this endless loop until I solve the seller's objections. Does it work out every time? No. But I find if you walk sellers through this specific pattern, you have a shot at getting a wholesale deal. If you decide to ignore step number 1, which is responding versus reacting, step number 2, leading by example and guiding your sellers, and step number 3, redirecting your sellers and addressing each specific concern through a trial close, that's the best way to attack a difficult sellers. And remember, guys, in the end, our definition of who's a difficult seller and who's not, my definition, listen, everybody who wants to sell their house on MLS, they put it on FSBOs, the ones that want to skip realtors, and they want tippy top dollar, they're all difficult. So we have to be very clear on what a difficult seller is. If they have a motivating factor like a foreclosure, a vacancy, tax delinquency, a probate, and they're being difficult, refer back to this video because it's the best way to handle them. Why? I mostly deal with difficult sellers because I'm used to it. I love when it goes real easy and smooth flowing, but the reality is if you do wholesaling long enough, you'll come across plenty of difficult people. Look at it as kind of like a mountain to conquer. And once you conquer one, it is very satisfying when you do them. You will not win them all. Never said you will. But please don't walk away. Please don't just comply with their commands and let them run you all over because you're not an order taker. You're a wholesaler. You are special. You're elite. And I want you to have success. So look at these people as a challenge. Give them the extra effort and learn to respond to them and walk them through the exact system I gave you in this video. And you'll be shocked of how many difficult sellers you can churn into great wholesale deals. So guys, let me know in the comments, what's your definition of a difficult seller? And if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you in the next video.